Okay, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. It depends on which time zone you're tuning into that, or maybe you're just listening to the recording. So, anyways, welcome everyone. And my name is Arek Siechowicz, and I'm a founder of ChipQuest. And today we'll share with you um, a number of ideas that stand behind this revolutionary tool that is, helping in training and onboarding people in several industries, but this time we really focus on semiconductors onboarding and training because, as we mentioned in our other webinars, semiconductors industry is expecting a workforce Armageddon, and we can definitely expect the huge wave of demand for skilled workforce to be joining our fabs and our vendors production sites, and we will be in a huge hurry to train them and on board people fast and efficiently. And the thing is that we tend to be in this industry because of its cyclical nature, underprepared and then overreact, as in try a bit desperate tools to address the needs. Anyways, so this is a chance for you to explore a tool that can be very helpful, and if induced early enough, can prepare you and make sure that you actually thrive in this coming new wave of our industry being boosted. And the reasons behind the incoming boost hopefully are clear to you to some extent. If not, please reach out to us and we'll send you a recording of our recent webinar where we, together with John Gikiere from Tech Sovereign Partners, explained in detail what's coming, how the ecosystem is shaping. And just last 2 weeks has been huge on the news with Intel's problem, and then the rescue coming, and then Qualcomm thinking of takeover and all those changes. But that's the nature of this industry, that Intel might be in trouble today, and then in 5 months' time, about to open the fab in Ohio, they will be hiring and training like crazy. So that's how it is. So it's better to be prepared now. And the agenda for tonight is slightly different from our webinars, because typically we really want to make sure that we help you understand the situation or some ideas that we are sharing. And therefore, we are a little bit shy when it comes to the solution that we work with every day, which is ChipQuest. And that's how today's webinar is slightly different, as in I will be actually allowing you to explore what exactly is gamified learning platform, what is a learning experience platform, such as ChipQuest, and what stands behind it, how it stands out, how it's different than, for example, typical e-learning, because it's massively different, and you'll see that at the end of the webinar. So here's the agenda, and I hope to cover most of those elements within next 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So moving on, the first thing is always why, and there is so many reasons to use a better tool than your typical current learning platform or your in-person training. In-person training is invaluable, and it needs to have a place in training for manufacturing in semiconductors. However, it has plenty of limits, and those limitations are huge. And we don't realize actually how much money it costs us to keep things as they are, and how much money we can save or stop wasting if we implement just a few of improvements. And to help you with that, actually, we've prepared a special calculator on our website that you can check out and calculate yourself your potential ROI on improving your onboarding. And we mean that in a broader sense. So you can calculate ROI on any initiatives that improve your onboarding. And the figures you'll come up with, you can use those drop downs and just find the figures that are applicable to your company, whatever are the most numerous group or most common positions that you're hiring. And you'll see a huge number. I promise you that. And you'll be surprised. It's definitely much bigger than you would expect. And then this calculator allows you to play and see and exactly in detail what makes up these numbers. So, for example, time to performance, so how quickly your people can operate. And you may be optimistic, or someone more harsh than myself would say you could fool yourself with the fact, thinking that your new hires are 80% efficient in the first month, but most probably they are much closer to 50% in the first, or maybe even in the second month of their employment, with your current onboarding process. And then you can think, okay, what if we improve this time to performance and actually all the other elements of our onboarding by, say, 30%? And you'll see numbers getting big, and then you can see how much damage they do, because your mentors training them were stretched with their current busy work, and perhaps some damage occurred. So you put your own figures. You don't have to rely on ours, but whatever elements of current onboarding cost you can calculate here, and then you can estimate, okay, if I can improve by 10%, by 30%, or in many cases by 50%, what will be the result? And there's your bill. there you are. You can see the results, and in your own context. So this was the why you should focus and spend time and energy on understanding how you can train your people better and onboard people in a more efficient way. And I'm here to present you with hope and news that there is a better way, and you can actually deliver training in a much smarter and more engaging and more efficient way. And the solution I'll be talking today might sound a little bit experimental, because I'm using words like gamified learning platform. So it may sound, a bit too innovative for some. However, let's remember that we are in a cutting-edge technology industry. That's for starters, but also this solution has been tested in many different industries, from finance through construction, through logistics. So very, very different environments, and we've been able to train people very well in this very modern and engaging way. Also, as you can see, this can be applied not only to onboarding, but also to any stage of employee journey in the company. So it could be even used at the employer branding and recruitment stage, because that will be the first step. You need to lure people or invite people to consider working in your organization first, for them to be onboarded. So at this stage, again, with the workforce Armageddon coming, I promise you this will be tough times to recruit people, because these days, if you're thinking especially about the younger generation, working in a manufacturing environment, especially in clean rooms, is not the first choice for many or for most people. It's demanding environment. And so you'll need to do some good employer branding for them to understand what's connected with working in your organization, and what are the benefits and what are the challenges. And you can even do a little bit of a selection process utilizing this tool. But today I'll focus more on the training and onboarding side. So to sum up, the challenges in semiconductor sectors are linked with rapid technological advancements, this chase to go more and more modern, and to update technologies quickly. At the same time, we are dealing with high precision and accuracy requirements. So any mistake on a fab floor could be very, very costly. And the machines that are being operated by technicians are costs in hundred thousands and millions of dollars. So you really need to train people well. And you tell me, but perhaps in your organization currently, the training game, well, pretty much resembles whatever was used for onboarding 30, 40, or 50 years ago. So just stand next to Mark and watch him doing things, because he's too busy to actually properly train you. And even if he trains you and then moves on 3 days later, this new employee might not remember as well whatever they've been told. So yeah, these are not perfect approaches to onboarding. So what we suggest and what we propose and what we do instead, we utilize gamification, and gamification uses mechanisms from games. So there is a huge industry, video games or computer games industry, that engages people of any demographic, from very young age to very old age, and people spend playing games hours and hours, hundreds of hours a month, and they enjoy that. So there must be something that there is in games that keeps people glued to the screens, and that's what you need. Sometimes games are very difficult to master, and yet still people do master them and do enjoy leveling up, as it's said. So we took some of those mechanics from games and applied them to engage employees into learning about real business stuff, the things that they need to do their jobs properly and safely. And so we also apply these concepts on the content level. So any lessons here are really adventures and missions and challenges that are broken into small little steps that give you plenty of dopamine and feedback and reinforcement that you're doing well, and keep going. All these results in quite amazing situation in which people, learners, absorb huge amounts of difficult materials on how to operate equipment, how to behave safely on a fab floor in a way that feels almost effortless. They feel that they almost like play the game, and they enjoyed that. And we have plenty of proof, plenty of feedback from thousands of users that in fact that's how they perceive that. So the key performance indicators that we'll be looking at in terms of how learning experience platforms, how gamified learning improves actually the training is you get better knowledge retention. So people remember things 5 days and 2 weeks and 3 months later much better with this approach. You have reduction in training time because you don't have to repeat that much in terms of in-person training. You'll get that automated on the platform. As I mentioned, people will be more engaged and satisfied, and also at the same time your analytics will be amazing. You have so many data points. So for compliance or safety records or ISO standards or whatever reporting that you need to do on your training will be like, 300% better than whatever you have now, because there is so many data points, how people have done on quizzes, tests, how much material they covered, where they're struggling, and finally, can we prove and verify that they've actually mastered the material. So it does resemble games a bit. We wrap it up. The whole training material is wrapped around a rich, graphically rich storyline. So we are not shy in building, very modern environments or contexts for people to learn in. And it could be very realistic, almost resembling your actual factory floor, and especially the equipment people will be working on. But then we could add some, less realistic context as well, just to make the adventure more interesting. So the learning experience platform relies on a number of key factors. I'll be explaining them today. So one, and perhaps even most important, is microlearning. So microlearning is the idea that it's much better and more efficient to learn in chunks that are from 1 to 7 minutes long. Not half an hour, not 45 minutes, and God forbid, an hour or more longer. Microlearning, 1 to 7 minutes per knowledge peel, as we call them. The second element to modern, effective, and engaging learning is mobile learning. So basically, allowing people to learn utilizing mobile devices, and in some contexts that there could be their mobile phone, but sometimes with IP protection and some contexts on a factory floor. We really need to be sure that the training material stays on premise, so to say, but even more importantly, for people to learn in context, so they can actually have tablets and stand next to the equipment, be in the environment that they are learning about, and then use the platform and the microlearning to familiarize themselves with anything that they need to. The third concept is adaptive learning. So this is huge, and it's only possible for last few years, and then we've had that in our platform for last 3 years. That the platform has elements, and the training path has elements that adapt themselves to individual users. And what I mean by that is, for example, at the end of each chapter, each mission, there will be a smart repetition module. And the smart repetition module is designed for every individual user. So for Mark, there will be different module than for John or for Rob. And the smart repetition will be automatically prepared for that person based on their past performance in specific quizzes, tests, simulations, and basically anything they've covered so far. And the purpose of that is to make sure that they leave for the next chapter with anything that was behind them truly integrated, truly understood. those adaptive elements, there are more adaptive elements, but hopefully I can come back to them later. And as I mentioned, the fourth element is game mechanics. So addictive storyline, missions, points, progress bars, rewards, and more. These little things, these little elements really make the difference. I'll let you ask questions on chat and grab a sip of water and come back to the next point. So we break each knowledge section, whatever they need to learn, into those small micro-learning materials. And they will have materials that explain the ideas and then verify understanding and then test and help with repetition. So there are different varied formats of materials that are being used and different formats of tasks that are present on the platform. And I will show the platform in a moment, but just to show you a number of mechanics that we borrowed from games. So these are not only points, rankings, or progress bars. These are difficulty levels, community tasks, rapid feedback. So anything you do provides you with feedback, sometimes with points, sometimes with simply communication saying good job, or you could do better, or you should revisit this topic. And those elements really engage people and help them learn something that they would want to learn anyways, but it could be too challenging, too boring. Well, for those our generation and even especially the younger ones, the attention span is a challenge in any learning. So especially such difficult topics as we face, we need to utilize those mechanics. So one of the key elements is a variety of formats, a variety of tasks that we deliver the knowledge through. So it's great to read through a ebook on some topic that is neatly put together and very easy on the eye. But then it's good to have a summary on one-page infographic, and actually at the beginning, just to understand the concept or to understand the why behind. It might be great to see an animated video showing you a story of someone operating this particular device or troubleshooting on or having actual problem or a challenge with the equipment. Other formats, as you can see, there's plenty of those. And this is the key to have a variety of them. So yeah, expert videos simply showing how to operate this specific element or why something is important are great as long as they are short and they're put together in a mix of other formats. And I will be showing you today some of those formats. Another element that's very important is not to upload everything as a library. And that is a mistake or almost a standard in our online training industry. I mean, whenever we are reaching out for e-learning, we actually tend to do just this, to dump a number of probably good materials on people and say, just visit there. I mean, go there and help yourself. There's plenty of, tutorials or whatever for you to use. And what happens is people don't use them. That's the harsh reality. And you have engagement or utilization levels at 2 to 5% of materials being consumed, as we say in the lingo. And so what we do in a gamified environment, we put them in a storyline in the learning adventure path. and people know what to click next, so they don't have to wonder and look for something that is expected of them. They know what's next on their path. So to sum up, um, the typical e-learning provides people with a number of experiences, and these are the main ones that you can hear when you actually ask for honest opinion. So it's boredom, it's dropout rate, through the roof. Basically, people click on that and just, oh, another one. So they try to drop out until you actually make them to complete the course, which they will, unfortunately, sorry for harsh language, but they might hate you for that. And I've talked to so many people, and you go ahead and talk to people how much they like whatever you're trying to deliver your training through online channels. It's typically really, really poor satisfaction levels. And if you utilize learning experience platforms, if you utilize game mechanics, then everything changes. You get addictive adventure, high completion rates, even if voluntary, very difficult topics being really assimilated with ease, and the people perceive it as challenge to complete rather than a burden or duty to perform. They love you for letting them do it. And honestly, we've had training in subjects like compliance, which is like almost the most hated and difficult topic to be trained on. And still, if you break down into micro learnings and put it with a storyline and utilize game mechanics, people will say, yeah, oh, that was interesting, that was actually quite fun to complete. So how to get there? So one of the key elements is to transform whatever documentation, the training documentation you have, to transform it from this that you've been using for last 20 years to this, to micro learning interactive pills, and only then you can expect people to enjoy this learning. So you can have interactive tasks, simulations of conversations, and I think that's actually a very good moment for me to log into our demo that's available to you as well, and we can show it on a specific example. So let me just share my screen. I think that's the one. No, that's the admin panel. I need to share a different screen. Sorry for the confusion. And I believe that's, sorry, I just need 2 seconds. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah. So the icon on the screen I wanted to share should be this one. Yeah. Okay. So this is the actual tool in action. So this is the learning experience platform by ChipQuest that is designed to train people on specific line of equipment delivered by Class 1. And this solstice system has upper and lower cabinet, and people need to learn how to operate it. So what they see, okay, I can click here and I can enter. Oh, what's here? So there's a number of squares, but I soon discovered that these are tasks, and there will be storyline, and this lady will welcome me to the challenge, and then I get some points. Oh wow, that's cool. That was easy. But then I move on. Okay, so the next thing on my learning path is this. Let's go. So I'll click start, And I'll see, okay, so this is the front panel, yes. And what's inside? Okay, so there are some devices inside. Let me explore them. And you can explore them and see the cutaway model, for example, and you can see what are the maintenance tasks linked to this specific element and how frequently they need to be completed. So, okay, I learned, and I can continue exploring the up front panel, the upper cabinet. And once I do that, I can click let's go. I'll get some points, but soon I'll see that I don't get points just for clicking. I need to actually complete a test, and the test will be a simple one, only with 3 questions, but I need to make sure I answer correctly. And actually, the system will ask me, how sure am I? And that is linked to this artificial intelligence algorithm that will be preparing a smart repetition for me later on. And if I answer wrong, I'll get some feedback. Okay. And now I know what was the right answer. So I can move on to the second question. I'm unsure. It's weekly. Okay. So that's that. Yeah. And the feedback can be more or less direct. It doesn't have to be, as much direct as it is now. So it will only be 3 questions, and I had a chance to receive 1,500 points, but depending on my answers, I will get a bit less. So I will see that I really need to pay attention to those micro-learning materials. Now, the next task could be to test my knowledge in reality. So I'm invited to snap a picture of the process robot and upload it to the platform so an expert can actually verify my knowledge. And so on. So these are the micro-learning pills that I was talking about in practice. For example, if I was to learn the lockout tagout routine, this would be the infographic to help me understand that. So first, I want to understand it in depth, and it's still okay. I need to read through, but it's presented in an interactive way. But after again, I've completed that, I'll see, oh, someone put together a neat infographic that sums up all 4 steps for me. So that's really useful, and you can actually print those as well and utilize them offline. And as always, there will be challenge to make sure that I understood it properly. And these challenges could look simplistic, like this putting together a puzzle, but they reinforce whatever was learned. And sometimes at the beginning we actually make things simple enough, but later those challenges become more and more difficult. Hey, do I struggle? No. Yay, I got my points. So that's an example of how this all could work. We could have a quick YouTube video that is 2 minutes long here, and then again a different test. So this was mission 1, and then I would go after completing to a mission 2 and have different elements that I need to learn. And as you probably can see, it's really easy and engaging and nice, but at the same time, it's really solid knowledge, like in this conversation. So I have some trouble on the fab floor, a small leak, but I meet a senior technician. I was hoping he would help me, but hey, he utilizes this to be a training opportunity. And yes, this is virtual, this is self-paced. So the learner will have this conversation with an experienced mentor while your actual mentors can remain busy filling for those vacancies that you will have. So this mentor, this online mentor, will be patient. Even if they make a mistake, they will be left with choice of two answers, and if they answer well, they will ask them next question. And that's for some security reasons I got logged out, sorry. And we always make sure that you only stay logged in if you're authorized user. So you've seen how it works in the main concept around the platform. And on the top, you can see that there is quite a number of elements. And I wanted to draw your attention to the achievements section, because this is the place where you have all the knowledge or all the training organized neatly. So you discover it, explore it in a very engaging way, almost like a challenge. But then when you want to revisit, it's neatly put together, like interactive table content. So whatever I've already covered, I can revisit. But I also see that there are still lessons that I need to cover, and that actually triggers my curiosity. I want to see what's there. I want to complete these because I want to discover what's there, but also I want to progress on my progress bar. I want to move on my mission progress bar. These all elements actually trigger curiosity and help people to engage and move on and stay in the training, which is a challenging situation these days. And in the bottom left corner, I can see that some people have logged in and learned materials as well. And I always have a helpful guide that will tell me, okay, what to do. I could, through this platform, sign up for training that is happening online or offline, but at a specific time. What is very interesting feature of the platform is a mentor panel. So for admins, there is a separate admin panel I will show you later. However, for buddies, people helping with onboarding, simply colleagues from the fab, they should be able, and they are able to log in just as any user into the platform, see all the materials that the new hires are training on, whatever they are learning, but they are interesting not in a general ranking of 50 people that are being hired, but only those 2 or 3 or 5 that are under their direct supervision. So when they click on the mentor panel, they can see Maciek, Paulina, and John, who were assigned to them, and they can see that, so John joined in May, and his last few tasks were these. So this mentor can approach them in real life and say, "Hey, John, I see that you've learned this fluid handling system maintenance. Tell me more about it. Let's approach the equipment, the system, and tell me how you do it." So they can make sure that they've trained well. But this is supplementary. So now you moved from mandatory real life supervision that takes hundreds of hours into something that is supplementary and works in harmony with online training. And that's a huge change. Once you experience that, you will never go back. And that's more what my clients say. So there are rankings. There might be rewards, and what I mean by the rewards, they could be funny little rewards, like even a lunch with the factory manager, someone who is a legend of the company, and it might be interesting for new hires to meet. I don't know. It's down to your imagination. What I wanted to emphasize is that we don't pay for engagement. What I mean by that is rewards are a nice and little addition, little touch, but people are engaged through different mechanics, like whatever I've said before, the storyline, the progress bars, and so on. I can show you a completely different platform that was prepared for one of the biggest copper mining companies in the world, and to showcase you that these platforms get to be tailor-made. They're bespoke. Okay. Case for a different scenario, a different client, so you can see how those fundamental concepts of gamified microlearning can be applied to a specific use case. We've had this training on a semiconductor web processing system, and now I'll share my screen and we'll see a different scenario. So this one is for the second biggest copper mining companies in the world. They operate all over the globe, but this one is on the map of Poland, but they have mines in Canada and Chile and everywhere. Also, I think they are top three in silver mining as well. As you can see, the customization is on many levels. First of all, is according to the brand book, they have the main colors. Even the guide, so the little elements like the guide here has a copper or red hair, and is dressed appropriately for that company. And then if we go to the visualizations, the destinations where the tasks are hidden, you can see that they are either processed actual footage, because this is actually an top helicopter view of their one of their facilities. They could be their actual fabs, again processed with the assistance of current AI generative tools, or they could be photorealistic. And if we go to specific set of tasks or learning materials that they are learning, they're also customized. So they are specific to their fab or to their environment. And in this example, this is yet another microlearning peel. And in this small format, we actually teach people about the whole process from the mining to the sales and through processing. And so it looks very, not overwhelming, I would say, as in easy. But once you click through it, explore all these interactive elements, you learn a lot about processing mining, processing copper. So this is the magic, that you can actually deliver lots and lots of training material within something that is interactive, engaging, and just draws people attention rather than scare them. Um, yeah, and as I've said, you'll get your points, you'll get your tokens that you can change into your exchange for rewards, and then there will be always a little bit of testing. Here will be a simple test, but the test has underlined the smart repetition model, the thing that is AI based algorithm will follow each and every single user, and based on their answers, as well as how sure are they about their answers, they will provide them with a tailor-made smart repetition model for specific person. You see some small touches like, oh great, you've received extra bonus points because you've done the test perfectly, and you can train on P&E equipment, for example. Like here you have very advanced um, um, dress code, I would say, or equipment, protective equipment that the miners have. And again, as we know in our industries, it's really important. And you can learn about this in a very nice interactive way. And again, it's always a small 2, 5, 7 minutes thing. You could have those ebooks. People for some reason really like materials presented in this format, as in you just flipping through an actual book. So it's just a different format of a PDF text, but this is again much more easier to understand, to process, and simply nicer to go through. So yeah, these are the many formats that we utilize in this specific case. The last one, maybe I'll show you a sort of sorting quiz when you have those elements and how they are. Oh, actually, I've done it completely like, yeah, I wasn't trying to do it right, but that didn't make sense. So when I check for answers, as you can see, then it will show me which of those I've marked correctly, and that's how many of the 1800 points I get. Well, in this case, I didn't do well. So we don't want to punish in gamification. We want to score them, rate them accordingly to their actual level of knowledge. However, we also want them to leave every task with a learning. So show me correct, and now I know how it should be done. Only then I will move on, getting, in this case, 0 point. So yeah, as you can see, the journey, the experience on the platform is really engaging. People want to go on. Sometimes we work with this psychological effect of saying, okay, this is enough for this week. Now go apply to reality and come back later. And they like crave for more. That was great. I wanted to do more. No, those 5 materials are enough for this week. We want you to apply them to real life and then come back for more. So yeah, there's plenty of clever ways how to make them really engaged, even hooked on learning, that we utilize. And as you can see on the top, the interface is similar. Again, you can see the mentor panel for the mentors. You can see what you've already completed, what's your curriculum like. Oh, this is still to be explored. You have your calendar, rankings, rewards, mailbox, and so on and so on. So yeah, I hope you really liked the concept that we've introduced today. You hopefully see how ChipQuest can help you with training not only the Z generation. We used to talk about millennials being, the new generation. Now it's not even Z generation; it's Alpha that is coming your way. And yeah, to survive in the next wave of workforce Armageddon in the semiconductors, you'll need to be able to communicate and train these new generations effectively. I just wanted to emphasize that it works for everyone. It's just the younger generations won't have it, won't have the old school. They won't have the boring PDFs, documentation. It will be too difficult for them. It's not even their fault or choice. It's just that the attention span that we have as these days, doesn't allow for us to, or for many of us, to work in a old school typical way. And yes, gamified micro learning is the answer. I'm sure of it. Our clients are sure of it, and the users, the rating that they provide us is overwhelmingly good, as in we get the scores that any e-learning admin would dream of, and yet that's what we get. So I think that's also a good moment at the very end to show you a snapshot of the actual scores of the platform I was showing you when it was implemented, how the players rated their experience. So this is last time I'm sharing my screen. And let me just quickly switch into this one. So yeah, so this is the backend. This is the admin panel of the mining adventure I was showing you. And yeah, 4,800 times people chose to assess the stage, the mission, and their average score was 4.7 out of 5. And in terms of specific micro-learning content, then they can also rate these, and 4.8 out of 5. So it's like, I think, 93% of satisfaction was chosen. So it is quite amazing. We are really, truly proud of that. And as you can see, those statistics are readily available in the admin panel. And for example, it could be also interesting to you that we've measured that 50% of them utilized desktop or the laptop for going through the platform learning, and 50% used a mobile device. So as I mentioned, in the industry, the delivery method could be flexible. It could be laptops, but it could be tablets that they can carry around the fab, or it could be their personal or business mobile phones, if that's something that fits your context. Yeah, so thank you very much. I hope that was interesting enough to get in contact with us. Please visit chipquest.tech. We are waiting for you, or just reach out to me on LinkedIn, or whatever is most convenient to you. Thank you so much, and see you hopefully on the next webinar.